Yo, what is going on, Sunrocks? Give me a second. I'm just getting set up as usual, and we're just gonna talk about some of my predictions for the league and all of that. And yeah, we'll get started in a bit. I'll probably hop in for some friendlies so I can stay warm for next week. It's gonna be a long process. I'm still getting used to that, so should be fun. Just cooked some boneless hot wings. You mean chicken nuggets? That's what those are called. I'm going to do a little YouTube section to post my predictions of how the event is going to go, who's going to win each pool, stuff like that. And then I will play some friendlies. So yeah, if you have any predictions of your own, please let me know. Or go ahead and start that discussion. I'm pretty sure you and Psychotic would be winning your group, but number one can be either of you depending on your guys' set. Bubby doesn't even play this week. He doesn't. I gotta look at everything. I mean, I gotta keep that up anyway because I'm about to dissect each group and then go from there. But we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the discussion. I can't say discussion. I can't English today. But we're pretty much gonna break down. I'm not even gonna like look at match history or anything, or I'm gonna try not to. But since it's early and these are all just the buys, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I can't English today. Cannot English today. So, who do I think is going to win Group A? So obviously, I'm just gonna gas myself, and I think me being seated as the highest in this is going to be. I've prepped hella for this. So Group A is just I think I have it winner's side. The person coming on loser's side though, that's where it's gonna be a little hard for me to call between Martian and Psychotic, because Martian's very good and Psychotic has grinded a ton for this. So if I had to pick, I would go with Psychotic, just because I know how hard they've been grinding and I don't know how serious Martian is taking this event. But that's just my prediction, obviously. None of these things that I'm saying should be taken as cold hard fact, obviously. But yeah, Group A, I think I got it winner side. And even if I don't have a winner side, I should have it for sure loser side. So, first or second. First should be me, second should be Psychotic. Third would be Martian, I believe, if we're going like in order. And then these two, I have no idea. I'd probably give it to Pip. Next, I'm going to say for Group B, this one's honestly kind of interesting because I got to play with Boss, and Boss is pretty good. I know nothing about gaming with Q. And then we have Tunrocks, Mad City, and Elites. This top three right here is kind of scary. Elites kind of counters Mad City, but I think Tunrocks has some wild cards that could potentially knock Elites out. I'm not saying Elites doesn't take winner's side, but between these three, it's going to be very hard for me to say like first, second, third. I don't think Boss is there yet because they're relatively new to the scene, but I will go ahead and give Group B to Elite, and then second place I'd give it to Ton, and then third I'd give it to Mad. But 2 and 3 could be close. I just know Tunrocks has a bunch of wild cards. Mad City plays a lot of different characters as well, so it all depends on tournament format and counter picks and all that good stuff. But I do think Mad City has a couple of Elites counters that will for sure rack up as a couple of L's on Elites record. So we'll see how that goes. Group C. Group C is interesting because this is where we get into the two groups that only have 4 players per. Elise Kando's a boss. Nemesis Styles is a boss. Axiom's a boss. And Moon has come back out of retirement to come enter this. So this will be interesting. I haven't seen Moon play Vault in a while, so I don't think she is playing Vault anymore. But I have to go ahead and give this seed for sure to Liscano. Liscano's a beast. His matchup with Nemesis will give him a lot of struggle, but in regarding the Condor matchup with Axiom, I don't think Condor gives him much of a problem. I don't know if there are too many counter plays that Moon can do against Axiom. Yeah, Bai will totally take this pool. Yeah, I think for me it's hard to say because Moon has been playing Seth recently. So we have literally a pool that has mains all over the place. We have a Ripjack main, we have a Yuka main, we have a Condor main, and then we have a Seth main or Volt main, which the only two that would be kind of close would be Moon and Lee's. I see Lee's taking it though, just because of how consistent he has been lately, and he's been dominant, and at least been in the, he's been in the finals for Brawl Off in the Europe League or the Europe region. So, Lee's has definitely been leveling up a ton. I think Lee's has this bracket for sure. And then I would just say first, second, third, just because I'm unsure about Moon being able to take games off of Axiom. But I will say Seth gives Condor a hard time. So this third place, I would say, is up for debate, depending on how well Moon does. But yeah, Lee's and Nem can for sure take it. This one could be hand in hand as well, just because of the counters. But, who knows how this one's going to go. And last, and certainly not least, because this one's a very interesting one as well, we have 3 Seth variants and a Mako / Guancho Pancho main. And I'm excited to see clips from this because we get to see Hamsta go up against Rushdown on Rushdown on Rushdown. Now, granted, Bubby plays Senator Feathers, Natura, and I believe Apocalypse. So those are 3 different characters that could potentially be used to counter any of these other guys. Emil obviously has that Natura and Saphira, and then Create is a, Saphira main. And he's also picked up Condor, but I don't think his Condor is going to be that impactful in this. I think he's going to have to try his best. Bubby, Bubby's definitely got a unique playstyle. I think he's very strategic with his movement. But yeah, I don't think he's mastered that rushdown playstyle. I think he plays pretty patient out of this whole bracket. I think pretty aggressive, somewhat aggressive, and then patient. So these matches should be interesting no matter how you look at it. I think the group that I would be spectating the most is going to be Group D, just because of the playstyle differences. And we get to see how aggro versus aggro is going to look in this game. I think it'll be an interesting group or pool overall. So this is probably going to be the group you guys see me talk about a lot, whether it be in chat or on YouTube or anything like that. And shoot, I didn't even pick who I think is going to win this one. I will go ahead and do this one backwards just because I think it's not super obvious, but I think it could go either way. Literally, this one I think could go either way. But I think it goes Create and Bubby, potentially for third. If I had to go based off of play experience, I would give it to Bubby. But Create a Life has been grinding as well, and their Saphira is no slouch. Definitely catches you with a lot of down airs and down smashes on stage if you're not ready for them. Racks up a lot of damage. So, second place I give it to Bai because, Bai's OP already got 04. I'm just kidding. This one's a toughie, but I think I give second place to Hamsta, aka Caleb, just because considering that this pool is going to give him the hardest challenge in my opinion, considering that Bubby could go Natura to try to, restrict his movement as Mako. Then Emil can restrict his movement as Mako, as well as Rushdown, and Create same thing, restrict his movement as Saphira. So it's going to be hard for Caleb to make it, but I don't think it's impossible. I think top 2 could go either way as well, especially considering that Bubby plays multiple characters. So maybe we'll see wild cards come out of Create a Life, but I doubt it. I think he's going to stick to his bread and butter and play Saphira. Bubby's the only one that I see changing, and since this is 5 weeks of pools, I could see Caleb just sticking to Guancho and trying to use projectiles to counter these playstyles. So we shall see. His Mako is definitely sick. I'm excited to see that, but I think I have to give this pool to Emil, just considering how aggressive play is going to work. And Saphira Dittos are always like weird, because the same combos that work on other tall characters work on Saphira and her variants as well. So I would have to give this one to Emil, just because Emil's been playing pretty consistently as well, and Caleb, aka Hamster, has not entered a tournament in a little while. But Group D is honestly the one that is wild. Like, I have no idea. So just to refresh for my YouTube people, I think it's going to be me coming on winner's side and Psych coming on loser's side for Group A. I think this one is Elites on winner's side, Tunrocks on loser's side, but Mad City could closely contest that second side. We have Liscano winning this one. I'm pretty confident in Nemesis taking second, but these two could definitely contest any of these spots. And then I have Bubby at third, Caleb at second, aka Hamster, and Emil at first for this bracket. So Emil coming from winner's side, Caleb coming from loser's side. Now, this is just going to be my opinion on the pools. When it comes down to the finals for the 8 of us, that's where things get really hectic and crazy, especially considering how people are going to come out of their pools. Because losers pools, or losers side on the top 8, is going to be insanely hard. The winner coming from loser's side is going to have some of the hardest competition, if not the hardest competition as of lately. So it's like, I'm dreading. Like, I'm going to try really hard, obviously throughout the whole tournament, but I'm going to try really hard to rack up as many wins in pools as possible, so that I don't have to even risk coming through loser side, because loser side is going to be hell for top 8. There's no doubt about it. Because if we look at the potential quote unquote loser side, if my predictions are correct, right, we have Psychotic, who is a beast. Psychotic is, when his Ripjack is on fire, when their Ripjack is on fire, it's crazy to try to get. Like, the positioning of the poison, or if they're playing Vault, and they've also been practicing other characters that could potentially be a wildcard pick, especially on that loser side. We have potentially Psychotic, we have potentially Tunrocks. Tunrocks is literally a random man, could play anybody to counter you if needed. If Tunrocks is really sweating to try to get this dub, potentially coming on loser side too. Tunrocks could make the craziest upset and come on winner's side on this side, and then that's even more scary for me on winner's side potentially if Tunrocks makes it, because random cards on winner's side is going to be a headache to deal with. Then potentially Nemesis on either side is scary, just because of the comeback factor. I think if I had to give anybody the comeback kid title out of Brawlout, it's definitely Nemesis. And then we have potentially Hamster coming from losers, and that's just a nightmare as well, considering how effective his Mako is and nobody knows how to play against it. So that's my recap. Loser side is just crazy. Winner side is still going to be crazy depending on how this goes. And the scariest part about pools is anything can happen, because I can only control my wins and losses. Like, Martian could rack up a ton of wins against the other 4. These people down here get buys, so they automatically start off with a win for this week. Or however they automatically just start off with a win each for the group for the pools. So they're already starting off with a win. I can't, like I said, I can only try to secure my wins as much as possible and try to go flawless. I don't think I can, honestly. There's going to be a week or two where I slip up, but doing well in pools is really going to be the most crucial part for everybody competing in this. So it's just a free win on the board for everyone, but if you can't win anything after that, it's, you know, it's rough. So bring out the dead cells. I plan on doing just Mako and Drifter this tournament. Outro. Thanks for watching. If you want to catch these on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. They're down in the description. Yeah, I don't know how to do YouTube stuff at all, so I'm gonna end the video here. I will see you guys later.